Phoenix Ren and Satoru Shimano both understood that it was not Mayumi Takeuchi's prediction that had failed. Someone had distorted the outcome of her prediction. Mayumi Takeuchi covered her head in pain and said, "Someone is outside the realm of destiny. I cannot see his future, let alone predict anything about him." Phoenix Ren walked over to her side, slowly put his arms around her, and said softly with a smile to comfort her, "It's okay, Mayumi. You've done a great job. As for that guy, just kill him. And I will definitely kill him for you." Mayumi Takeuchi slowly looked up, her eyes soft and worried as she looked at Phoenix Ren. "But, if that's the case, then there might be more deaths among our allies. Because my predictions on them have failed, I can't see their future clearly." Phoenix Ren smiled. "This is war. No matter what happens, it's our own choice. And so far, things are still in our control." He stroked Mayumi Takeuchi's head. "Sometimes, you shouldn't put such a heavy burden on yourself. I'm still here." In the past, they did rely too heavily on Mayumi Takeuchi's abilities. But before they got Mayumi Takeuchi, they were also equally formidable mutants. If you can't see the future, just force your way through it. A sense of awe-inspiring battle spirit burst from Phoenix Ren's eyes. Perhaps it had been too easy all along, to the point where it had become a little boring for him. But this time, things were finally developing in a somewhat different way. "This is exciting, isn't it?" Mayumi Takeuchi suddenly thought of something and hurriedly said to Satoru Shimano, "Hurry and get Chio back. Because today's book of prophecies said that Naru's Hanakyo's fortune was unlucky." That was why Phoenix Ren had not sent her out on a mission, but instead had her stay around the main camp to keep watch. Normally, if the enemy did not break through the outer team members, it was impossible for them to reach the perimeter of the main camp. Satoru Shimano closed his eyes and was about to contact Naru's Hanakyo. But at this moment, a cold and lazy voice came from afar. "Are you looking for her?" The sudden voice made the three people from Eclipse Moon jump. "Hanakyo." Mayumi Takeuchi couldn't help but cry out when she saw the woman in his hands. Wasn't the man carrying the woman the ninja in their group, Naru's Hanakyo? Phoenix Ren's eyes narrowed. Although Naru's Hanakyo's strength was not considered top-notch during the entire Eclipse Moon, as a ninja, her skills in reconnaissance and escape were extremely formidable. But she was unable to even raise the alarm before being killed by the man in front of her. This shows just how formidable the opponent's strength is. Is the captain of the Heavenly God Squad, Deng Shintong? It was none other than Deng Shintong who had arrived. Deng Shintong's mouth curled up into a smile when he heard the person in front of him say his name. "Oh? Even you Neon Ronin have heard of my name? It seems that you are not that uncultured after all. You are much better than someone from a small seaside town." All attention in the combat center was focused on this side. Zhu Jin gave serious orders: "Enlarge the image of Deng Shintong for me. Put it to the maximum." Everyone understood that this battle between the captain and the leader of Eclipse was the main event of the battle. If you can kill the other side's general, then the battle is completely over. If Deng Shintong loses, the operation in Blizzard City will be a complete failure. If Phoenix Ren loses, Eclipse Moon will also fall apart and become a disorganized mess. The outcome of this battle will also affect other battles on the battlefield. The defeat of the general directly affects the mentality and morale of all the mutants. Deng Shintong threw Naru's Hanakyo onto the ground, his face wearing a smile. "Looks like I'm in luck. There are actually 4 Eclipse Moon people here. Killing you should be able to put an end to this farce, right? But which one of you is the commander-in-chief?" Deng Shintong's gaze swept over the 3 of them, before he waved his hand nonchalantly. "It doesn't matter. You're all going to die anyway, so we might as well kill you all." Phoenix Ren bowed his head, and his body suddenly trembled. Deng Shintong looked at him in surprise. "Are you that scared?" Phoenix Ren's body trembled more and more violently. He suddenly looked up and let out a loud, maniacal laugh. His eyes were filled with a crazed excitement. The captain of the Heavenly God Squad is also the highest level combatant in the Jiangnan region, right? If I kill you here, those idiots from the Jiangnan region won't bother me anymore. Phoenix Ren stared at Deng Shintong. Today, you will die here. Satoru Shimano stopped using his ghost gnosis ability. Without Phoenix Ren having to say anything, he quickly ran over and helped Mayumi Takeuchi up. Neither of them were combat-oriented mutants, and in this battle between a captain and a leader, they were not qualified to participate. Given the strength of these two people, even if there was a slight aftershock, it would be enough to kill them both instantly. The battle between the two generals was about to begin. This news was quickly passed on to all the combatants by the Combat Command Center and Satoru Shimano. Upon hearing the news, Zhang Yi's gaze could not help but fall upon the center of Jiangning Square. He narrowed his eyes, as if he could already feel two powerful forces slowly rising there. They were two powerful forces that were no less than his. A sudden thought popped into Zhang Yi's mind. Should I go and support Deng Shintong now? But the moment this thought occurred, he dismissed it. He didn't know Deng Shintong's abilities, nor did he know Eclipse Moon's trump card. If the abilities didn't complement each other well, or even restrain each other, 1 + 1 might be less than 2. Besides, he couldn't guarantee that Eclipse Moon didn't have other tricks up their sleeves. Headquarters had already made a perfect plan, allowing them, the mutants from the outer city, to create good combat conditions for the Heavenly God Squad. I believe that Deng Shintong is capable of handling the situation there. Zhang Yi shrugged and said indifferently, even if the situation turns out to be extremely bad, I can still handle it. Before, the headquarters told us mutants from the outer cities to be decoys to force Eclipse Moon to reveal his true strength. This time, I will use the Heavenly God Squad as decoys to test out Eclipse Moon's trump card. He paid no more attention to the battle in the center of Jiangning Square, but quickly headed to the northern front line a few kilometers away, as ordered by headquarters. Battles were taking place all over the battlefield, and with the Heavenly God Squad gone, the battle had officially entered a white-hot stage. On the western front line, it was Bai Chunyu, Li Taichang, and Luo Tianxiang against Daiko Yanjin, Yoshimitsu Sakuraba, and Kurosawa Akira. Seeing that the vice-captain of the Heavenly God Squad had already entered the fray, Yoshimitsu Sakuraba and Kurosawa Akira could no longer afford to just stand around and watch. They stood up, walked quietly behind Daiko Yanjin, but kept their distance from him by more than 10 body lengths. It seemed that even their teammates did not like to get too close to this monster. Daiko Yanjin did not distinguish between friend and foe when he fought, because his power was too great and he could not control it well. The number of his former companions killed while acting together with him was already approaching double digits. Bai Chunyu gathered the smile on his face and his expression was cold and intimidating. Let's get started. A quick battle and quick conclusion, we don't have much time to waste here. As soon as he finished speaking, the entire person suddenly became illusory, and then very suddenly, his body began to disintegrate, not disintegrate, but turn into countless pieces of white snow. Snowfall of the earth. As Bai Chunyu transformed, the temperature of the surrounding air seemed to drop a few more degrees, completely extinguishing the residual warmth after the bombing. Even the falling snow in the air became denser and denser, enveloping the entire battlefield. Disappeared? Daiko Yanjin narrowed his eyes and carefully stared around. No, he's right around here. Huh. The falling snow in the sky became more and more numerous, and the hexagonal snowflakes had become so dense that they could block a person's view. Suddenly, from 3 directions, large blizzards attacked Daiko Yanjin. Daiko Yanjin gripped the Tanbokiri in his hands and slashed directly at his surroundings. But this attack had no effect on the millions of falling snow. The next moment, the blizzard arrived in front of him and directly submerged him. Whoosh! The sound of the millions of snowflakes flying through the air was eerily similar to that of flying swords slashing through the body. The soft, white snowflakes had turned into incredibly sharp swords, and countless 6-sided flying swords began mercilessly slicing through Daiko Yanjin's body. Tiny wounds appeared all over his body, and blood oozed out. The sensation was like being cut up by thousands of swords. Even a body made of steel and iron could not withstand such an intense attack. Daiko Yenjin's face showed signs of pain. "Get out of my way!" He wildly swung the Tanbokiri in his hand, but even if his strength was enormous and the weapon was sharp, it was impossible to slash thousands of snowflakes. Roar! Daiko Yenjin let out a roar, and a powerful aura burst out from his body. It forcefully scattered the snowflakes in the sky. However, the snowflakes were already piling up in the surrounding space, and even formed a huge canopy above his head. The snowfall of the earth, incarnated by Baichunyu, was specifically used to restrain this kind of brute force mutant. Daiko Yenjin heard the cold voice of Baichunyu echoing around him. "No matter how powerful you are, can you split the snowflakes?" Daiko Yenjin was about to say something when suddenly a gap appeared in the wall of snow in front of him. Li Taichang, dressed in heavy armor and wielding a huge anchor, charged over like a humanoid titan, and the anchor in his hand smashed down on his head. Bang! Daiko Yenjin blocked in a panic with his Tanbokiri, and the collision between the Tanbokiri and the anchor made an ear-splitting sound. The collision of the two top-level enhancement mutants directly shattered the land beneath their feet. A solemn look appeared in Li Taichang's eyes. He used Baichunyu's snowflakes to cover himself, and actually launched a surprise attack, only to be stopped by the opponent with one hand. Daiko Yenjin revealed his white fangs and laughed maniacally as he watched Li Taichang's eyes peeking out from his armor. "Not bad, that power. It is indeed a bit interesting. Arrogant." Li Taichang attacked with both hands, one holding an anchor, while the other held a long chain with a human head-sized meteor hammer tied to the end. He raised the hammer above his head and smashed it towards Daiko Yenjin. Baichunyu's attacks did not let up at all, continuing to attack Daiko Yenjin's body with countless snowflakes. Even the hardest steel body could not withstand the tens of thousands of cuts per second from his snowflakes that were sharp like a scalpel. However, Daiko Yenjin was not fighting alone. Seeing what was happening, Yoshimitsu Sakuraba behind him immediately came to his aid. Yoshimitsu Sakuraba held out both hands with 5 fingers open and was aiming at Daiko Yenjin. An invisible shockwave was released in an instant. Baichunyu was about to continue his attack when he suddenly felt his body sink, and his movements became sluggish. Li Taichang also felt his limbs become heavier. This is gravity?